Hey guys! So before I get started on what's next with Ronika, I think I'm going to start off every show with a couple fun facts just so people can start joining in and they won't miss anything. So my first fun fact that I'm going to give you guys is, did you know that cows don't have upper teeth? It's actually pretty crazy if you look it up. They only have bottom teeth, which is wild. My second fun fact before we get started is, did you know that your foot is the same length as your forearm? It's pretty crazy. I measured yesterday and it was. You guys can measure right now if you want. But yeah, I think I'm going to get started with a couple fun facts before we go, just so people have time to join in. Let me think. I have another one because Brandon's not in here yet. Did you know that dreamt is the only word in the English language that ends with MT? Another really cool fun fact. So yeah, before each live, I'm going to hit you guys with some fun facts and then we'll get started. So I hope you enjoyed those 3 for today. But yeah, I think that's really cool. I looked a bunch of fun facts up yesterday and I was really intrigued. But welcome in to another episode of What's Next with Ronika. If you guys don't know what it is, or if this is your first time joining, it's a IG live series where I go on live and I interview former student athletes that understand firsthand what it's like to step into the world of sports and entertainment. Feel free throughout, I didn't copy and paste, but ask questions. I'm so close. In the question box. Hey, Kareen. So we have our guest in here right now. I'm going to send him a request, but today's guest, we have Brandon Boykin. He is a Georgia football alum. He played 7 years in the NFL, and now he is a TV personality, radio personality, speaker, model. He does it all, and we're going to let him in here, and you guys can ask him questions throughout. But yeah, don't forget to keep tuning in. Hey!
What's up, Ronika? What's going on?
Not much, just about to interview you. How are you?
Hey, Karina. What's up, Karina? I'm good.
Okay, so I wanted to get started with, giving a little bit more about who you were as an athlete just in college. So when you were at Georgia, you finished with 159 tackles, 9 interceptions, a sack. You were named MVP of the Outback Bowl. You won the Paul Horde Hug Award, which is, for those who don't know, it's given to the most versatile player in college football. But you're not just versatile on the field. Off the field, you graduated from Georgia with a journalism degree, and since then you've spoken at the NFL, you've spoken at the American Cancer Society, and for Nike. There's a lot more, but those are just to name a few. While you were still in college and while you were still playing, was what you're doing now something you always envisioned?
Yeah, actually. I knew that I wanted to be on TV. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. So I majored in broadcast journalism, and my first year in the league, like after I finished my first year, I remember coming back to Atlanta and interning with Channel 2. So I did that like my first 3 years in the league. Would go from intercepting balls to like holding cords and ropes for like whoever was on camera, and just kind of getting all the experience that I could. So I kind of knew, like, from just doing that I knew I wanted to be on TV, but I didn't have any experience. So I think just kind of being proactive and taking that initiative to do that, like while I was still playing, kind of helped me create some contacts and some connects that really, really helped me after year 7 when I was done.
So for student athletes that are thinking about being on TV and they want to go that route after they're done playing, what advice would you give them for something they could do while they're still in school?
Yeah, I'd say the same. Like, you're an athlete. All of your time is kind of attentive to whatever you're doing, but the little downtime that you have, make sure you're being intentional about trying to reach out to anybody and everybody that can help you, even on campus. And the crazy thing is that, like, people are really, really willing to help you and, like, go above and beyond. A lot of times, because you're an athlete, so use that And I'll just say be creative. For me, like you said, like I do speaking. Obviously, TV is a part of the stuff that I do, but I'm a serial entrepreneur as well. And I think that, like, I kind of learned in college that I can't do, my personality is not wired to just do one thing. Like I got to do a bunch of different things. Like I got to kind of dictate my own time. So I think through football, probably around like year 5, I started trying to put those pieces together, and like whether it was speaking, whether it was TV, just reaching out to people. And then I just say, like, you can't be shy, or you can't let your ego or your pride get in the way of whatever you're trying to do, because you know, I went from playing in the NFL, but essentially, like, I'm a rookie in everything that I'm doing right now. And while we were playing, like while you were playing volleyball,
Yeah.
um, I'm on the field, like all these other people are getting their expertise and their experience on. So don't be shy. Reach out, let people know, like, look, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm willing to learn. Like, let me follow you. Let me be around, just kind of to get the experience. So leave the pride, leave the ego, leave the name, and all of
Yeah.
that stuff back where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, speaking on that, I know there's a lot of top athletes that are at the collegiate level who think, you know, I'm only here to play football. I'm only here to play basketball. Like it's always just like the statement I always hear is like, I didn't come to school to play school. Like I came here for football, and that's the kind of mentality that they carry throughout. And then they go to the league and end up not knowing what the future holds after they're done playing, because you never know what's going to happen. And so, you know, I always hear it, and I always want to know from someone who has had success at every level, what is your thoughts on that type of I didn't come to play school mentality that people have?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's crazy, honestly, but I think that you can't really change or dictate where you come from. So for a lot of people, like, that's, I know in my sport at least, that's like there is no plan B. It's like you got to get to the league. Like, come here to do anything, get to the league, and like, right, obviously that's our goal. That's where we put our time. But at the same time, like, at some point that ends. Like, it's gonna end. It doesn't matter how much money you made. It doesn't matter how long you played. It doesn't matter what your name is. Like, you're not gonna want to sit around every day not doing anything. Like,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that made a lot of money and played, and they have second careers. Like, it's gonna happen. So I
Yeah.
think that, you know, until you get to that point, you don't realize it. But there actually does have to have be a plan B. Like, you need to have more skills and have a better, bigger skill set than just playing sports, because it's gonna end one day, and you know, you're gonna want to do other things, whether you see it right now or not. So, you know, you could take it from people like me and you that have been there, done that, made the All-American teams, all of that great stuff, and was like tunnel focused. And, you know, at some point, like, you grow as an individual, life changes, and like you realize, like, okay, there's other things out here, there's other interests that I have. So I might just say, listen to the people that have done it, and have that same mindset and change.
Yeah, I agree. It's just crazy to me when I hear people say that, I'm like, but what happens? There's always that what if, you know? But for you, when was it? Can you pinpoint an exact moment for you when you started thinking about life after athletics?
Yeah, absolutely. It was my 6th year, actually. It was like training camp, and I was with the Bears at the time. And I remember, like, waking up that day. We were like in these little terrible dorm rooms, like in the country somewhere in Illinois, like what happens during camp. And I woke up and I was just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this today. I don't want to do this anymore. So, like, I kind of like forced myself to go to meetings and all that type of stuff. And then by like the 3rd meeting, like, I was just like, I was like, I'm done with this. So I walked out the meeting.
Oh, wow.
I remember, like, calling my family, like, I think I'm about to retire, because, like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, you can't really fake it. You can't manufacture that. So with something that's really crazy, like, after I called my family that same day, I ended up tearing my pec, and I got hurt, like, for the rest of the year, and I still got paid, which was cool. But for like that whole year, I got to, like, you know, do what I wanted and experiment, like, off the field. So I, like, vividly remember, like, the time where it was like, it's time to do something else. And I'm thankful for that time because I really got to explore and take advantage of like the contacts and the connects that I had then. And something else I tell people is like, you're not too young to have a business card, no matter if you're like a senior, you're just now getting out. Like, get a business card with your email and your social media handles or whatever it is, and pass that out. Because whenever you're going to an event, like there's so many faces, there's so many people that meet you, but like you need to have something that they can leave with, so they can kind of remember you. So that's some advice I give to people too.
What was the hardest part with for you entering the work world, entering a life outside of athletics?
I think it was like the thing we talked on earlier about like thinking that your name or like your not necessarily your ego, but just like your accomplishments would kind of carry you to whatever that next thing was. Even like with TV, like you see like big name people come in to the studio at NFL Network or whatever, and like they think because they're like a NFL Hall of Famer, like they're gonna be good at this, and it doesn't last because they're not really like working at the craft. And you see that all the time. So I think that's the thing, just realizing like just as hard as we worked to be the best at our sport, you got to do that in the second career. And the other thing is that like you didn't come on campus, maybe you did, probably you came on campus and probably had to work to be who you are and like the captain and the leader to get everybody to listen to you and have like the reputation that you have. And it's no different. Like it takes patience. It's going to take you kind of failing a little bit at what you're doing to figure it out. And as athletes, we don't like failure. Like we don't like to feel like we're you gotta fail. Like that's a good part about it. Like you gotta fail a little bit to figure out like, okay, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. I need to get better at this. So like failure is essential to you growing and being like who you're supposed to be post athletics.
Yeah, everyone, if you have questions for him, you can continue to ask in the question box, and then we'll get to them at the end. But you have not only been on TV, radio, you've earned an Emmy as a part of the documentary, the Arise Academy. You're one of 8 players to serve in the NFLPA's Roundtable Leadership Group. You were a DB coach at the opening. So let me try to calculate this. You've written, you've coached, you've been on radio, you've been on TV. You also are a model now. Yeah, there's all these roles. A serial entrepreneur. And so you have so many roles and you're able to achieve so many roles. But what advice would you give people who think they could only excel at one thing? Because I know for me, it was always like volleyball. And once I'm done with volleyball, I want to be on TV. And I was like, I don't really know what else I want to do.
I think it's just the failure part. Like I said, I think a lot of people just pick something because they're like, I think I want to do this, and it's fine if you stick to it, but like it's also like no shame in changing your mind. Like don't be ashamed to be like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna try something else, or I want to do something else, and I think 2020 showed us anything. It's like the world's so unpredictable. You can't really just like depend on one thing in this world. I think we all got to be multifaceted and kind of have a lot of different, things going on and putting your hand in a lot of different things. And I think that's what I've always planned to do, but I just didn't know how to do it. Now that I'm actually in a lot of things, I think the goal for me now is to kind of narrow my focus on exactly what are like the top couple of those things. Because obviously you can't do everything.
Yeah.
Try to figure out like what you like, and even for me, like I've done all this stuff and I don't have it figured out. I still don't know. Like it's an everyday grind. It's you're continuing to grow in it, and that's okay. Like that's a part of it.
So for what you know now and didn't know then, but you wish you would have then, what advice could you give to student athletes so that they can start achieving those goals right now and start taking care of it right now that you didn't know?
That's good. I'd probably say make friends outside of just athletics. Like I think that's major, because all of these people are going to be like the presidents and the CEOs of these companies, And like we're so tunnel focused, and that's kind of who we're around all the time, just because of our lifestyle in college. But be intentional about trying to make other friends from that have other interests and do other things, and because I think it'll benefit you in the end.
Thank you. Let's see. We have a question. Oh, this one. How do you feel your circle of friends should be like? I guess who should be in your friend group? In that circle.
Number one, people you can trust. For me, like my top 5 friends are all from high school. Like we've all kind of stuck together, and we like have a group chat that's been going for like 7 years. So obviously people you can trust, but I think it needs to be diverse as well. Like you need to have a diverse set of friends with like different outlooks and different mindsets on life in general.
I have a question. That's not going to be in the question box. As someone who has played at every level, what are your thoughts on the athlete identity crisis, where it's like the idea that, as an athlete is the only way you view yourself and the only way that the world views you?
Yeah, I think that's normal. I think that's to be expected, just because that's kind of how your name got out in the first place. But I think as time goes on and technology advances, I think athletes are getting platforms to show like so much more of themselves. So I think that's kind of crumbling a little bit, and people are seeing that like, I can do fashion and be an athlete at the same time. I can speak about politics and still play on the field. I can do all of these type of things at the same time simultaneously, and people respect me for it. And I think the way to combat that is just to go and do it. Like I think people kind of stop themselves from doing a lot of stuff because they worry about like what are people gonna say, or like you validate yourself by just doing it. Like just go do it, and then it'll be on your resume.
Yeah, true. But while they're in college and trying to build their brand, I think no one really knows what the right thing to say is or to do is, because you're not only representing yourself, but you're representing that university with you. So
Right.
I guess what would you say to people who are afraid to go out there because they don't know how the world will accept whatever message they're trying to say?
I'd say kind of go down the chain of command. Like obviously there's people in authority at your university or wherever you are. I'd probably say have that conversation with them. Like these are my intentions. These are the things that I'm passionate about. Like, is there a way that you can help me do this? Is there a platform for me here before I, try to do this myself or go over your head? Like, this is what I want to do, and I need help. And I don't think that, that the university would not listen or not try to help. So just use your research.
They're there to help you.
They're absolutely there to help.
And, finishing up, I always thought it was so simple to get on TV. You already mentioned it before, there's already so many big names on TV, but it's not like they just got there because of their name. They had to work for it. And, my goal was always, when I was in junior high, I was like, I'm going to go to the Olympics and I'm going to be so good at volleyball that ESPN's going to call me up and they're going to be like, hey, come on.
Yeah.
But it is a process. And so what are the steps to get to where you are? What do you have to do to reach the level you're at?
Say yes to everything. I'd say like, man, you know who taught me that? Well, not really taught me, but I saw them do it first. And it is Maria Taylor. Like when I was at Georgia, like I'd get off the practice field and remember like interviewing with Maria, and then I'd see her like on CSS or something like later on like that night, and I'm like, she's doing a lot. Mm-hmm. And obviously now you see her every day doing what she loves because she was consistent at it. But like there were times where she did it for free or did it, 4 or 5 different places, had to drive here, do this. So just like say yes to get the experience and the opportunities anywhere you can, because you don't know like where that person's going to end up or what that opportunity can lead to. Like don't turn down anything. And for me, like I've done a lot of free speaking things, like a lot of free TV, a lot of like holding microphones, like a lot of stuff that you're like, man, I shouldn't be doing this, but like I said, you're a rookie at what you're trying to do. Kill your ego. Like you're gonna make it, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. We've reached the 20 and I'm
And that was
so
a quick 20.
right. It goes by so fast. I like look at the time. I'm like, oh no.
This was actually like my first live too, so
Oh,
it's
thank you
pretty
so
cool.
much for coming on.
Yeah. I'm gonna do this.
You're a live rookie.
Live on the hey, I'm a rookie at a live thing. Cool.
But thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day and hopefully we can talk soon.
Yes, sir. See you guys. See you, Ronika.
See ya. Okay, guys. Another episode is coming up in 10 minutes with TJ Brassel. He's an Oregon track and field alum, now a podcast host, and he works for Pac-12 as a broadcast associate. So stay tuned and watch that episode. And then next week, we're going to have JJ Reddick and Mary Mullins. I'll give you more information on them as the episode comes up. But don't forget to subscribe and to tune in. And we want to thank our sponsors with Mobot. I didn't take a sip during the episode because I wasn't that thirsty. But this is the Grace size. It comes in 3 sizes. You have the Big Bertha, Grace, and Firecracker. It's the first foam roll water bottle. Really, really great for student athletes. You have it on the go. But yeah, like I was saying, come in 10 minutes and we'll be on to do this again. See you soon.